Shalom, y'all. Shema, thought about Shema, what's going on, sis? Come on, man. Let me do that. All right. Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War holding down the class live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So-called blacks, from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You brothers and sisters tuning in. You got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with the ISUPK. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. And this book, the Bible, identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In the year 2023, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is here on the earth. So since 1969, what we do with these classes in the ISUPK is give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into the Bible, to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that the Most High has placed inside of this book so that we can become the people that he called us to be. Get back to living the life of righteousness, of dignity, of honor, and integrity so that we can prove to the Most High that we are deserving of our rightful place in the earth that he established for us from the beginning. All right. So like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have these classes from 6 to 8 p.m. Central. Brothers and sisters, come to class. If you want to call in, the number to the class is 901-249-0085. Again, the calling number is 901-285. Hold on. 901-295-0085. Let me make sure that's the number. Hold on. Now I got me tripping. What's the number to the school? Why is my mind tripping right now? Matter of fact, here we go. We're gonna go to Google. And we're gonna look up ISUPK Memphis. 249-901-249-0085. I don't understand why my mind just slipped just now. 901-285-249. Salaki. 249-0085. All right. That's the calling number to the school. You got any issues, anything problems, anything you're dealing with, you need some counsel, need some assistance, get in contact with us here at the ISUPK. All right. Having said that, Tuesday is brotherhood class, Wednesday is biblical law, Thursday is scripture breakdown. Taught a very powerful class yesterday about falling out of the truth and the difficulties that arise with many people who find themselves into the knowledge of the Most High in Christ, and for whatever reason are able to maintain the same zeal that they came in with in the beginning, and they eventually fall off and go into other things. And the purpose of that class yesterday was to give brothers and sisters um, just a realistic understanding of what it is that we are doing here in the ISUPK. This work of the Lord is not something that is for everybody. It's not something that is an easy path to walk in life, and it's something that you have to be chosen for. Nobody wakes up one day and says, "I want to be a man of God." Nobody wakes up one day and says, "You know what? I see them brothers on the TV, man, on that YouTube and on the street. I want to go do that." Nobody wakes up one day and says, "Yeah, man, I've seen the class. I want to be the brother sitting in that chair teaching that class." Um, to do this job requires a calling, requires the Most High giving you the ears to hear and the eyes to see, and then choosing you, creating a path for you to find your way into this work, and continuing to make it so that there's no way that you can see your way out. I'm thankful to the Most High that that's been my uh, story, has been my journey into the truth and being here. But I've seen many brothers who that wasn't their journey. You know what I'm saying? I've seen many brothers and sisters over the years lose their zeal, lose their spirit, fall weak, and just go back to whatever was there for them outside of here. But for some of us, there's just really there is nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I'm thankful for that, appreciative. And so off the back of that class yesterday, I wanted to teach this class today, which is titled "It's All Good," all of it. And this is going to be a class that is about perseverance. It's about endurance. It's about overcoming obstacles and overcoming the stumbling blocks that you can find in your way as you're walking this path of righteousness to prove to the Most High that you're deserving of all the things that He has in store for you. And so, without any further ado, unless brothers and sisters have any questions, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. If you have a question in the class, all you have to do is raise your hand. If you have a question online, all you have to do is type it in. I'll give y'all about 30 seconds. I'll take a swig of my ginger ale here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. First scripture we're going to start with tonight is going to be Romans, the 8th chapter and the 28th verse. All right. All right. Go ahead. Get Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And tonight, primarily, we're going to just focus on the story of one man in this Bible, the testimony of one brother in his life, and the different ups and downs that he endured on his path to serving the Most High, and all the ways that he was rewarded for his diligence and for his patience and for his righteousness, and never turning his back on obeying the Most High. All right, and this is particularly a very necessary story to understand, because a lot of times in life we look at our situations and our circumstances and we want to blame someone. We want to point the finger and say it's this person's fault or it's that person's fault. And sometimes we're hard on ourselves and we blame ourselves for all of the situations and the circumstances that we find ourselves in. But sometimes in life, it's not your fault and it's not anyone else's fault. Sometimes in life, you're just walking the path that the Most High chose for you. And we never are going to know why this path was chosen for us. We'll never know why these particular stumbling blocks were put in our way. But you have to take some solace in knowing that if you have given your life to the Most High, whatever you're struggling with, whatever difficulty is you're facing, the Most High is using this situation and this circumstance to make you better, to bring you out on the other side greater than what you were before. And that's something for me. Thankful, my whole life I've had that perspective given to me by my mother first and foremost. And then growing up in the family that I grew up in and watching different, family members struggle with their different lusts and temptations and overcoming their various trials and tribulations, it kind of put things in perspective for me at a young age that sometimes life, not sometimes, but life is going to be up and down. You're going to have some good days, you're going to have some bad days. Sometimes it's going to be sunny, sometimes it's going to be rainy, it's going to be warm, it's going to be cold, and all of it is necessary for you to experience and to go through, because how else would you be able to say that you lived a full life? But it wasn't until I came into the truth that I understood and realized that the way that you survive the never ending ebbs and flows throughout life is to just put the Most High first. I'm thankful to Commander General Yohana and the ISUPK for giving me that understanding, because it's that understanding that has allowed me to be able to really be solid and unshaken, regardless of what situations or circumstances I may be facing or dealing with in my personal life. All right, so it's going to start Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And it reads, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose." I'll read that one more time. This is Romans chapter 8 and 28. "And we know that all things, not just some things, not a few things, all things work together for good to them that love God." All things that happen in your life, every single situation that you that you face, every decision that you have to make, every twist and turn that comes your way, all things work together for good. Everything. Think about your life. Think about your childhood. Think about the people who you've lost. Think about the heartbreaks that you've suffered. Think about all of the setbacks and all of the bad decisions you ever made and all of the, consequences you had to face for making those bad decisions. The Bible says all things work together for good. Everything you ever experienced, everything you've ever been through, all the pain, all the heartache, all of the tough lessons you had to learn, all of it is going to work together for good to them that love God. What does it mean to love God? The Bible tells us what loving God is. Loving God is not, oh, I received Jesus in my heart and I love God. He's the Father and he's done so much good for me. Loving God is not, oh, Sancta Maria, bibbidi boobidi bop. Loving God is not, who knows what these other religious people do. Slitting the throat of a goat and catching the blood and drinking the blood and blowing it in the fire. Who knows what people are doing in all of their various ways that they say that they worship God or they love God. The Bible is very clear, very specific on what it means to love God. So let's go ahead and get that in 1 John, the 5th chapter. But I'm going to read this first part of Romans 8 and 28 once again. "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God." Let's go ahead and find out what it means to love God. How do we know if you love God or not? How do you know if everything that is in your life or has happened in your life is working together for good? You'll know it's working together for good if you love God. Let's find out what it means to love God. Let's get 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. "For this is the love of God." This is how you know if you love God or not. "That we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous." That's how you know if you love God. Do you keep God's commandments? Do you obey the things that God said to do? Listen, we talked last week about them 10 commandments. The commandments of God are more than just those 10. But Christians are only ever taught about the 10. But how many of the 10 do Christians routinely break all the time? "Thou shalt have no other gods before me" is the first commandment. You're celebrating your birthday. You're celebrating Thanksgiving. You're celebrating the New Year's. You're celebrating Valentine's Day. You're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. You're celebrating come on, man, Easter. Christians routinely have other gods before the Most High. They're not even doing the least commandments. "Thou shalt not commit adultery." God, listen, everybody on the earth is going to perish right now. Christians in that church, hey, yikes. Even in their understanding of marriage, they're committing adultery. Wedding ring on the finger, they're committing adultery. Even though adultery is unlawful, is a man having sex with another man's woman, or a woman having sex with any man other than hers. They're doing all of that in Christian church. You understand? That, the very basis of the law is thou shalt not covet. Oh man, thou shalt not covet. The entire religion of Christianity, the entire prosperity doctrine and the prosperity preaching is built on covetousness. Them people in that church choose their pastor based off of what kind of car he drives, based off of how much money he has and how good he looks. You understand? They don't keep the least of God's commandments. So guess what? All things don't work together for good for them. Some things that happen in their lives is to break them, is to destroy them, is to set them back, is to beat them down. But when you love God, all things work together for good for them that love God. That's Romans 8 and 28. Everybody understands. One more time in 1 John 5 and 4. For 5 and 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. It's not hard to keep God's commandments. It's not hard to be obedient. Everybody understands. Now let's go ahead and go back to Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. What does it mean to them who are called according to his purpose? Again, we read in the scriptures yesterday, Matthew 8, hold on, let's get it. 22 and 14. Matthew 22 and 14, many are called, but few are chosen. You understand? Very few are chosen according to God's purpose, meaning there's a righteous purpose for you in this life. There's something great that God has designed you to do. Some people were chosen to be examples for others to not follow. Man, it's being black in America growing up, there's a sadness that for many years went unspoken of in the black community. But lately I've been seeing athletes and entertainers and people who have quote unquote made it speak to the idea of survivor's remorse. You understand? Survivor's remorse is making it out of the ghetto, of the hood, of your situation and circumstances, and that family, that household you grew up in, and having a decent life. Sometimes you'll think about the people who didn't make it. Think about the people who, I think about my friends that never grew to see their, the age where they could go buy alcohol. Think about partners who never saw it to be able to see, graduation day. Think about the partners who had children, never able to watch them grow. There's a sadness that comes with being chosen and knowing that along your path, there were people who were placed in your life to be examples to you of what happens when you're not chosen, or what happens when you don't take the opportunity that you're given to make the best of your life. And I think all of us know some of those people. And it's one of those things that we all try to block it out, try to not think about it, you try to ignore it. Life goes on. Hell, you can't sit around and just think about it all the time. But there's moments that it'll hit you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, not everybody is called according to the Most High's purpose. And what is his purpose? His purpose is for the 12 tribes of Israel to one day rule the earth and to reign forever under our King, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who is of the seed of the house of his father David. Those of us who are called to that purpose, everything that happens in your life, it was all good. All of it happened. It was to make you better, to make you stronger, to teach you a lesson, to help you to grow, to help you to gain a toughness, to gain a thick skin, to not learn how to experience emotions but not be emotional. All of those things go into what Romans 8 and 28 sums up. And so for tonight's class, we're going to focus in on the story and the life of a brother by the name of Joseph. All right, brother by the name of Joseph, or Yawasop in the Hebrew. Joseph was the last born son of Israel, and Jacob was the most loved of his father's children. And because of it, because of circumstances that were always out of his control, Jacob experienced a lot of rough times in his life. The story of this brother's life is the story of the 12 tribes of Israel, because although Joseph went through these very difficult, unimaginably painful periods of trauma in his life, he never wavered in his honoring and trusting in the Most High. Because of it, all things worked together for good for Joseph because he loved the Most High and because he was called according to the Most High's purpose. All right, we're going to start at Genesis chapter 37, verse 1. It says, And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. Imagine that. This is the seventh born son of a man, six older brothers. His father was a little bit nicer to this son. It's a little bit kinder to him, a little bit gentler with him. Really loves this boy, and man, proud of you, son. Hugs him and tells him he loves him and maybe give him a kiss on the forehead. This brother loves his son. And all of his brothers see the way that their father is towards this young boy, and they hate the young boy because daddy never gave me hugs. Daddy never told me he was proud of me. Daddy never bought me a coat of many colors. Why would the brothers be mad? I remember learning about this in church and thinking, damn, they was mad because he had a rainbow coat. No, a coat of many colors was expensive. It was very expensive to get a coat of many colors back in that day because colors wasn't just abundant. Joseph had this coat of many colors because Joseph was, his father was breaking bread, spending money on him. Bear with me, y'all. Salaki. Shalom, y'all. Shalom. Shalom. Oh, wait. Damn. Give me, wait. Give me a second, sis. I'm going to figure something out. Give me a second. All right. Shalom, Lord Christ. All right. So, Salaki, y'all. Okay. Um, this coat cost his father some money. You understand? And that's the reason why the brothers was mad, because Joseph was spending money on this son. Them boys probably Pops wasn't spending no money on them, buying them nice fancy coats when they was coming up. At the same time, it might have been because their father didn't have the money. Joseph was the son of his father's old age. He was the son that came after his father had done all the hard work that needed to be done, had done all of the, toiling in the field and breaking his back and working and sweating. By the time Joseph was born and was growing up, Pops was paid. Pops had money, man. Pops was sitting good. So he could afford to treat this boy with, to lavish gifts. Whatever the reason was, them older siblings hated him. And for those of you who may have brothers and sisters, you may can relate. Anybody that's the youngest born of their parents, you may have seen how your older siblings looked at you like you just was babied and you were spoiled and you got everything you wanted. And they never treated us that way. We had it rough. We had it hard. Joseph had a very similar story. Everybody understand? Joseph had to go through it because he was his father's youngest son. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. I gotta go downstairs and let a sister into the school. Y'all bear with me. Give me I'm gonna play a song for y'all. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna play this song, and when we come back, we're gonna continue with the class. But I got a student downstairs that needs to be let in, and I don't have anybody here on Shamar, so I need y'all to just bear with me for a small second. All right. Let me see what song we want to go ahead and get. Um, um, Go ahead and get this right quick. We're gonna play a quick song. We're gonna come on right back in a second. All right. So lucky about this, y'all. Stay with me 1 second. We're gonna go let a student in. I'll be right back up. All right.
One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, it get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one west rising to prominent. Cause I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupons for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. A showstopper, been his proper since a teeny bopper. But now I'm throwing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the block, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's working mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm a born, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, down the D. And I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because UP. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me.
All right. All right. All right. Most High Christ, we back to water, y'all. You know what I'm saying? For enduring with me. Sister, shout out to Sister Shakai down here in the Memphis school. She bought lunch or bought some food for the class. So we definitely appreciate her for that. Y'all give Sister Shakai a hand. You know what I'm saying? For water. Back to we back on Joseph, right? So we are in Genesis chapter 37, started at verse 1. Concerning Joseph. I'm going to read it one more time. So this is Genesis 37:3. It says, Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brothers, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaves stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brothers said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. Now, all Joseph's life, His brothers was mean to him. All Joseph's life, his brothers hated him, couldn't stand him because he was the baby boy who their father loved and their father treated with all kindness and sweetness and made expensive gifts for him. On top of that, the Lord was with Joseph in that Joseph was giving visions. When this Bible is describing that Joseph described the dream, right? We see the brothers knew what the dream was about. Joseph just said, "Hey man, I had a crazy dream, y'all. In the dream, man, we was out there in the field and we all had our own. A sheaf is like corn stalk. It was like you gather all of your harvest in a sheaf. Well, the sheaf of Joseph's rose up high and tall, and all of their sheaves bowed down to Joseph's and paid obeisance, meaning they gave honor and respect. The brothers interpreted the dream, which lets you know what? These were all children who were in tune with the Most High. They had gifts from the Most High. Joseph dreams a dream. His brothers breaking down the dream. What you trying to say, niggas? So what you think, you going to be better than us? They hate him not only because he's their father's favorite, but because also the Lord is dealing with him. Let's keep reading. Verse 9, and he dreamed yet another dream and told it to his brothers and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. What is the sun and the moon? Mother and the father. What are the 11 stars? His brothers. They all made obeisance to him. They all paid him honor and respect. You understand? Verse 10, and he told it to his father and his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brothers indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? What you talking about, boy? What you trying to say? Me and all your brothers going to have to bow down to you one day? You tripping, boy. You better watch what the hell you talking about. Verse 11, and his brothers envied him, but his father observed the saying. His brothers was jealous. His father, he just, okay. He took note of the dreams this boy is having. We see here also Israel, he understood the dream too. Why? Because the Lord was dealing with him as well. We come from a spiritual family, man. We come from a family where brothers have dreams. They go tell their brothers a dream, and everybody's insulted by the dream. What you trying to say, nigga? What you talking about? What you mean? What you trying to say? That's the family we come from. Father and all his boys. But the brothers hated Joseph. Verse 12. And his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. Why did the brothers go to feed their father's flock in Shechem? Because that's how wealthy their father was. Their father's flock wasn't just in the land where they were. Their father's flock wasn't just outside in the field. Their father had flocks in far away places. They had to travel to Shechem to go feed the flock. Verse 13, and Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, here am I. And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. Go on out there to where your brothers is at, man. Take you a trip out there to Shechem and see what's going on. You come tell me how everything going out there with that farm in Shechem. Verse 14, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. What is the vale of Hebron? Does anybody know what a vale is? I had never heard of a vale until recently with that show Game of Thrones. Well, we're going to get the dictionary definition of a vale, just so we can get an understanding of what we're talking about here. All right? All right. Vale says, the definition says a valley or a dale. All right, let's get the definition of a valley. All right, hold on. A valley is an elongated depression of the earth's surface, usually between ranges of hills or mountains. All right. A valley is an elongated depression of the earth's surface, usually between ranges of hills or mountains. Everybody understands? What is the Vale of Hebron is the Valley of Hebron. So if Joseph lives somewhere and to get to Shechem, you have to travel through the Vale of Hebron. A valley is a very large area of land. If you go anywhere on the earth today, you go anywhere, particularly in America. Some of these cities in America were settled in a valley. Think of cities like Portland, Oregon. I think of a city like city near some mountains. Salt Lake City, Utah. Hell, Los Angeles, California is in a valley. A valley ain't just no neighborhood. Valley ain't a street. Valley is a big ass area of land. Everybody understand? If you're traveling on horseback and you have to go 4 or 5 hours to get somewhere, you've gone 10, 20 miles. You ain't just rolled down the street. You're like trying to get you all to see. This is how rich Joseph was. Joseph was so rich. No, not Joseph. Israel was so rich that Israel had land with flocks in Shechem. And to get there, he had to send his youngest son to go get with your brothers out there. Travel through the valley of Hebron and go to where Shechem is. That's how wealthy Israel is at this time. I'm trying to get y'all to get the visual. All right. Verse 15, and a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? Verse 16, and he said, I seek my brothers. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, they are departed hence, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. So he's in Hebron in the field, can't find his brothers. Man say, man, you got to go over there to Dothan. So that's another place he has to travel to find his brothers. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. Now, what does this mean in the Bible? They said one to another. What it means is one of them is saying this. This isn't all the brothers that's saying this to each other. This is one brother saying to the rest of them, behold, this dreamer cometh. Verse 20, come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say some evil beast has devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. This is one of his brothers. This is one of the 12 sons of Israel. Full of hate for their brother. Man, F this little nigga. He want to dream all these goddamn dreams. Let's leave him out here to die and see what happened to him in his goddamn dreams. I'm tired of hearing about him and all his goddamn greatness. Daddy want to give this nigga the nice coat. You know what I'm saying? Daddy always sweet to the nigga. He ain't never had it rough like we did. Let's teach this nigga a lesson, man. See what happened to all his goddamn dreams he dreaming. Verse 21. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, let us not kill him. Reuben had a soft heart. Reuben was Israel's firstborn son. He's the oldest. But clearly he ain't the manliest. Because if he was, he would have beat the brother who thought of this evil shit. Or Reuben, let's say Reuben isn't as, heroic as you would think, because he doesn't stop them from hurting the brother. He just says, let's not kill the little nigga. But he's with it too. Verse 23. And it came to pass, Salaki, verse 22. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands to deliver him to his father again. So Reuben is trying to not offend the rest of his brothers, because he's he ain't that guy. He ain't gonna stand up to him and say, man, y'all niggas evil, man. I'm taking Joseph back. I'm gonna tell Pops about this shit. He like, man, let's not kill him, man. Just put him in the pit because he's secretly, passive aggressively, he want to save the young boy, but he afraid of coming up against these murderous brothers of his. God damn, these niggas is evil. They wanted to kill the little nigga. He like, all right, man, let's not kill a little nigga. Let's just hide him away because he want to save him, but he ain't strong enough to just save him. He's strong enough to speak up, but he not strong enough to go against the rest of his brothers. Verse 23, and it came to pass when Joseph was coming to his brothers that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. Yeah, they hated that coat. These niggas, they was jealous of that coat. He come through flashy, fly as hell, stunting. He ain't even stunting. I guarantee you, Joseph wasn't even a flashy cat. Joseph the cat that got the money and looking good, but he really just be chilling. He just, hey, daddy gave me this fly ass coat. Why y'all niggas hating? They stripped the nigga out of his coat. What's up, little nigga? What you doing out here? Yeah, give me that coat, punk ass nigga. Yo, weak ass. You always was soft, nigga. Daddy always be tricking you like you the king Mahut, nigga. Who you think you is, nigga? Yeah, what's up with these dreams and shit? You think you gonna rule over us, nigga? Don't you know we been out here in the field, nigga? We been working, serving daddy. We helped them nigga get rich, nigga. You gonna come along and think you gonna run some shit? You ain't running nothing, little nigga. Now keep in mind, Joseph is 17. Which means his 11 other brothers, who knows how old Reuben was. Man, Reuben could have been in his 30s. The Bible don't tell us, but Reuben was a grown-ass man scared of his little brothers. Grown-ass man, older brothers, scared of his little brothers. They all some hating-ass, sucker-ass niggas, you know what I'm saying? They in the family business, doing what their father tell them to do, but they hate their little brother. You was 17, man. Young cat, man, ain't got no hair on his skin. He got hair, but he's still a young nigga. He still wet behind the ears. You know what I'm saying? He don't know nothing about nothing. He hating on that young nigga. Just like Israel today. You know what I'm saying? Just hating on the young nigga, man. It's important that we understand the spirit that were in these brothers because that same spirit that was in them is still alive today among us. You understand what I'm saying? They had hatred for this little brother, and when he walked up, man, to come greet them, they took him out of his colorful coat. You know what I'm saying? Talk real dirty to him, talk real greasy to him. And this is Genesis 37 and 24. And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty, there was no water in it. They threw him in a pit and left him to die, right? Verse 25, and they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal the blood? What we get out of this, man? We're going to kill a nigga and then lie about it. What we getting out of it? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. And let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. Here's another one. Evil as hell. He don't want leave the little nigga to die, but he thinking about shit. We can get some money, man. Why just leave the little nigga to die? We might as well go ahead and get something out of it. Shit, sell him to the Ishmaelites. What does this tell you about the Ishmaelites, though? The Ishmaelites are the children of Ishmael. This is during the lifetime while Israel is still alive. Israel's brother was Edom. Israel's uncle was Ishmael. Ishmael was around at that time, and Ishmael's children had already assumed the role of traders. Jacob and his children were not traders. They were plain men. They lived in tents and lived in cities, and they went out in the field and did their work. Esau was in the field all day, hunting and hunting and trapping and fishing and just living like a beast. Ishmael was traveling and trading up and down the damn desert, all the different trade routes, selling this, selling that, selling donkeys, catching lions. Hell, little boy, y'all selling a little boy? We'll take him down to Egypt. We'll sell that little nigga. They were slave trading all the way back then. How did Islam spread in the earth? The religion of Ishmael. It spread through slavery. What's taking place in Africa right now amongst those Muslims, those Ishmaelites? Slavery, selling, trading, You ever met a Arab in America? They're selling something, oil. Goddamn, they're in the gas station selling you something. They got a hoagie shop selling you something. They're somewhere selling somebody something that they got out of the goddamn earth. The whole Arab economy is based off them digging down in the earth, getting that oil, and going everywhere with them damn dresses on, bowing with them head turbans, trying to trade something. All the way back thousands of years ago, when the brothers got together and hated on Joseph, when they had nowhere else to go, they found some goddamn Arabs and traded and sold their brother to them. You understand? Shalaki. Genesis 37 and 28. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph unto Egypt. This was the first instance of Joseph being dealt a raw deal. Joseph, being his father's favorite son, growing up in a household of men who were endowed with gifts by God and being a dreamer of dreams, was a good kid for all accounts, but his brothers hated him and sold him into slavery. And I'm sure that betrayal and that evil befalling him from his brothers impacted Joseph. I'm sure it was a very traumatic experience for Joseph to go through that. But he was sold into slavery by the hands of his brothers. And we'll continue reading in Genesis 37. Genesis 37 and 29. And Joseph returned unto the pit. And behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it and said, it is my son's coat. An evil beast has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned his son many days. Reuben did not have the strength to stand up against his brothers. His brothers knew that Reuben was soft and was weak and could not go through with it, which is why they did not tell him that they had sold him to the Ishmaelites. When Reuben confronted them, Reuben gave himself away. Hey man, I went to the pit. The boy ain't there. They all looking at each other like, told you that bitch ass nigga was going to go try to help him. Told y'all Reuben was soft. Reuben a hoe ass nigga. Hey man, we don't know, man. We don't know what happened. Here, we got something for you, Reuben. Killed one of the goats, poured the blood all over the damn coat. Sent it back to their father like, man, Pops, we found the coat. We don't know what happened to Joseph. Israel cried and mourned because he sent his boy out into that field. He sent his boy to go be with their brothers, and the boy never made it. And these are some evil niggas, man. They were some evil niggas, and they lied to their father. Talk about goddamn family secrets. These niggas held this secret from their father for the rest of their life. Like, these are some niggas. These niggas was niggas. Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Naphtali, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Asher, and Issachar was some evil ass niggas. They was evil as hell. Reuben was soft. Reuben loved his little brother. Rest of them niggas was evil as hell. They sold that little nigga into slavery and then fronted like, yeah, Pop, we don't know what happened. Took that 20 pieces of silver, pocketed that shit, and just was, hey, that's it. It is what it is. Horrible. Genesis 37 and 35. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, "For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning." Thus his father wept from him. You understand? Jacob said, "I will forever mourn my son. I'll never get over this. I'm going to die crying for my son." And them niggas still didn't tell him. Verse 36, "And the Midianites sold him unto Egypt, unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard." Everybody understands. Now, these next few chapters are about more evil that these sons of Jacob did in their lifetimes. And there's a whole lot of stories of evil stuff these niggas did. Understand this, the Bible is the story of one nation of people and their dealings with God. Before we were a nation, we were a family. And as a family, we were a very dysfunctional family. We were a family of hotheads, of, niggas who, whoremongers, niggas who bought vagina, niggas who was dishonorable in following the protocols that our father had taught us. The sons, when they had sons, they didn't teach their sons everything that their father Jacob had taught them. Like, these were some niggas, man. These was nigga boys, man. Ignorant ass nigga boys that don't want to do. Not all of them were good sons that did what their father wanted to do. And it's important that we understand that this dysfunctionality that existed when we were just 11, 12 brothers continued into the development of us as a nation. And a lot of the dysfunctionality that existed, a lot of the evil and the hatred for one another that we exhibit today in our tribes stems all the way back to the days of us being just a man and his 12 sons. And the Bible is not a book of perfect people. The Bible is not a book that paints a pretty picture. The Bible is the raw story of your family's history and dysfunctionality and lies and secrets and goddamn having sex with your father's woman and all kinds of evil shit these niggas was doing. Excuse my language. But that's what makes the Bible so amazing, is that it's not a glory story. The Bible is not we were always perfect and wonderful and the angels and light beamed off of us. Nah, nigga. Niggas was some real wickedness. Niggas was not following their father's instructions. Niggas was conspiring against their little brother, then carried a lie while they watched their father cry and mourn and be broken over his youngest son. And them niggas just, yeah, man, fuck that shit. That shit done now, bro. It is what it is, man. Fuck it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Don't nobody ever say nothing. Nigga, Ruben, I wish you would say something. We'll kill your bitch ass. Niggas, tell Pops. Tell Pops anything, nigga. And watch what happens. You think we want to do your son the same way, nigga? Fuck that, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Your kids don't mean shit, nigga. We got our brother out the way. Fuck you think this is? Nigga, shut your mouth. We gonna put this goat blood on there and tell Pops the nigga got ate in the field or something. You better not say shit, Ruben. Nigga will fuck you up. Excuse my language. That's how I imagine they was talking. These niggas they weren't, oh, righteous and holy and, oh, Jesus and God and love God. These niggas was niggas on the left hand side. They was in the world. They were not in the truth. They were not honorable and righteous, all because they were Jacob's sons. That thing doesn't exist. That place where people just perfect and wonderful no matter what, that's not reality. You understand? Sister Shawba asked, but what did they get out of it? They got out of it not having to look at this nigga who better than them. Fuck that little nigga, man. I'm sure Joseph also was obedient to their father. I'm sure Joseph was righteous. He the only one dreaming dreams. It's because the Lord dealing with him. The Lord is with him. The rest of them, they didn't have the same spirit. You go back to Adam. You go back to Seth. No, you go back to Cain and Abel. Why did Cain hate Abel? Because Abel was the good son. Abel was the son that followed their father's instructions and took heed to how to sacrifice to God and knew what was the right thing to do, regardless of what it cost him. And Cain hated the nigga. You bitch ass nigga. You try and get favor and shit. You fuck ass nigga. You killing goats and shit. Just get this nigga some fruits, man. Why you tripping, bro? And God, God come to Cain like, why you mad at your brother, bro? Don't you know if you do good, you'll be accepted? Nah, man, fuck that shit, man. That nigga a bitch. That nigga, I told that nigga, let's just get these fruits and vegetables and shit. He want to go kill lambs and shit. Nigga, I'm trying to get money out here. I'm trying to get me a whole herd. I'm gonna give me a herd every time I gotta go fucking, come kill a lamb every time they have babies and shit. Nigga, my flock only had, 4 babies. I gotta kill one every time for God. That's some crazy shit. Abel, man, fuck that shit, bro. Here, I got these fruits and shit. I got some fruits and some vegetables from the harvest, nigga. Let's go get that to God. And Abel, like, nah, bro. Pops told us we got to kill one of the goats. Like, you tripping, nigga. Just kill one, nigga. Buy one from me. Give me them fruits, and I'll give you a goat to kill, nigga. It's nothing. Nah, man, fuck that shit. Then when God don't have favor on him, things in his life ain't going right. The nigga ain't accepted. He know things is happening because God ain't rocking with me like that. God is not dealing with me. That's why I keep trying to cut corners and nothing's going right in my life. The nigga that chooses to do evil never says, damn, God is, maybe I should just change. Maybe I should stop trying to cut corners. Maybe I should just do things the legit way. Nah, evil nigga gonna be mad, not at himself for being evil. He gonna be mad at the good nigga that's getting rewarded. Like, this bitch ass nigga, he a soft ass nigga. I remember being in school. It's ingrained in us. It's a spirit of refusing to do the right thing, but being mad at the people who do the right thing and have success. That's a spirit that is in Israel. It's always been in us, all the way back to Adam and his first 2 sons. The same spirit of these 11 brothers hating their little brother. That bitch ass nigga, man. You soft as shit. Pops be fucking with him too. I don't even know why. Pops wasn't there. Did he ever hug you? When you was growing up, he give you kisses and shit and tell you he proud of you. He all baby in this nigga, man. Fuck that nigga, man. Of course he doing everything Pops say to do, because look how he look out for the nigga. You feel what I'm saying? He always deal with the nigga like, shit, if he was good to me like that, I'd have been good too. That's how niggas talk. Make every excuse to be mad at somebody for doing good just because you choose to be a piece of shit. That was Jacob's sons. Hated Joseph so bad that they sold the nigga into slavery. Didn't even care about the pain it brought their father. Then they wondered why their father ain't love him like that. Because the nigga seen you was an evil nigga. Tried to beat the evil out of you. Tried to punish the wickedness out of you. Tried to give you some discipline and teach you the right way to go in life. Teach you some lessons about doing things the wrong way. Clearly, they hadn't learned it. Everybody understands. But yeah, man, Joseph was sold into slavery. And I'm sure Joseph, it traumatized Joseph. Extremely, think of what that could do to a young man's mind. But let's read about Joseph once he arrived and found himself in captivity. Remember, we started with Romans 8:28, that all things work together for good for them who love God and are called according to his purpose. Everybody understands? It's Genesis 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Most High was with him, and that the Most High made all that he did to prosper in his hands. This is what our enemies know about us. They see who the Lord is with among us. It's a spiritual thing. I remember being young in elementary school. They knew that I could read well, knew that I could do my math and count well. Immediately, as a young child, at the age of 6 years old, our oppressors separated me from all the other children that were my peers, all the other black kids that I went to school with. And maybe it was 1 or 2 others that they grouped, but I was put into a group classification of gifted and talented. You understand? And what made me gifted and talented versus the children who weren't was God. The Lord gave, and everyone has different gifts. Intelligence is a gift that comes from God. The ability to retain knowledge and to learn quickly and to be studious and to have a desire to want to learn, a thirst for knowledge, that is a gift from God. Our oppressor literally looks for the children who are gifted and talented. And then they separate those children from all the others and give the gifted and talented children a certain path towards success or towards growth that's different from all the other children. My whole life going through school, I was in gifted and talented classes. Put me in Spanish in the second grade. Got to middle school and had honors classes and high school courses. Going from middle school to high school for classes. Got to high school, was ninth grade and the 11th grade classes. Got to 10th and 11th grade, had AP classes. Like I was on that fast track to be chosen by Esau. Well, Joseph was the same way. Immediately in his captivity, the slave master was able to see something special about this kid, man. God is with this kid. And I'm going to make sure that I keep him close to me, because if God is with him and I own him, then God will also be with me. It's like the stories I hear. Jimmy Butler, basketball player in the NBA right now. Jimmy Butler was in the 8th grade when he was homeless and his family wasn't there. I think his mother got locked up. Mother might have died. Father had been on drugs when he was younger, and nobody was there to take Jimmy Butler in. A white family adopted Jimmy Butler when he was in the 8th grade. Some cat he went to school with whose father was active with the team. Some white man adopted Jimmy Butler when he was in the 8th grade because that white man saw God is with this boy. He's going to go to the NBA. He's going to be special one day. He's going to play basketball on a large scale. Same thing with Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick was a black boy who was adopted by some devils when he was in high school. You know how often that happens? It happens very often, very frequently. Devils are recognizing, oh, God is with this boy. Oh, he's something special. Oh, yeah. They out there right now, basketball, football scouts is at AAU games, 8th grade AAU games. They giving kids college scholarship offers in the 8th grade. Now they got NIL. They paying kids in high school. Yeah, you gonna come to Nebraska when you graduate in 2027. You come to Nebraska and we'll pay your parents $75,000 every year until you graduate. And when you come play for our basketball program, we'll make sure you get another $250,000 every year that you stay committed to our school. How do they know how do they know that an 8th grader is worth $75,000 over the next 4 years? Because they're out there looking for who's God with. They're looking to see who's special among these niggas, because they know that niggas are the special ones. Goddamn. Don't let me tell you about what's going on down there in the Caribbean. Don't let me tell you about what's going on in South America with the soccer teams and with the baseball teams. They got baseball youth camp. Man, listen. Major League Baseball has youth camps exclusively in the Caribbean, in Cuba, in the DR, in Puerto Rico. They have Major League Baseball is sponsoring camps in those countries where they're trying to find who's going to be throwing at 110 miles an hour in 2030. 2030, who's going to be 20 years old in 2030? How old are the kids that are going to be 20 in 2030? 7 years, they 13, 12. Major League Baseball is paying some family in the Dominican Republic who's broke with near nothing money $5,000 a month because this little boy, this 12-year-old boy, looks like he can throw a ball. And if he keeps training and practicing, by the time he's 18 and graduates high school, they'll get him into some college in America. And by the time he's 20, they'll call him up from the minor leagues and he'll be throwing in the World Series. What do you think Little League Baseball World Series is? They show on ESPN the Little League Baseball or Little League World Series. Why the hell do anybody care about these 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds throwing some baseballs? Because that is how we find who are the special niggas. It's how we find who are the special Issacharites. Who are the special Ephraimites? Who are the most skilled Simeonites? They got to find them when they're young. so they can take advantage of them. You understand? Sister Shakai said the superintendent came and asked her to move her daughter to private school because of her test scores. And listen, if it's a good opportunity, get some counsel. Hell, let her go to that private school. Let her expand her horizons and see, see what there is for her to be able to learn and to get from that school. But make sure that when she's not busy being indoctrinated by them devils, she comes here and learns the truth about who she is and who God wants her to be. The Bible says that we are the salt of the earth. The Lord wasn't lying about that. We make this place special. We are the people that they depend on for everything that's wonderful and amazing and great and magnificent. Us, we're the ones that do it. Everybody understands. Back to Genesis 39. Genesis 39 and verse 3. And his master saw that the Most High was with him, and that the Most High made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Most High blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Most High was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. Everybody understands? Even though his brothers had done this evil to him, sold him into slavery, put his life in guaranteed danger, all things work together for good who love God and are called according to his purpose. That slavery was the best thing that ever happened to Joseph. He grew up, he's in this Pharaoh's house and thriving and prospering and getting favor and wealth and money. And he ain't got these hating ass brothers that's always picking on him and teasing him and trying to, make him feel bad. Joseph could have cried, man. He could have just been depressed, could have been sad and miserable. But the Lord was with Joseph. And Joseph was able to see those brothers did me wrong, but the Father's still with me. Keep reading. Genesis chapter 39, verse 6. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught what he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. Joseph was an honorable cat, had integrity and dignity and honor. And this man trusted Joseph because he knew this Israelite cat is special. He's a good brother. I ain't got to worry about him. That's the reputation that comes with a servant of God. That's the reputation that comes when you're someone who loves the Most High. The Bible says that when a man's ways please God, he makes even his enemies be at peace with him. This Egyptian could have hated Joseph, could have been evil towards him. He's a goddamn slave master. But because of the Most High and Joseph fearing the Most High, the slave master loved Joseph, gave everything, put it in his hands, let him run the whole thing. Verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. This nasty hoe. See, but what comes with the Lord's favor? When you get the Lord's favor, you prosper, and everything is glorious and wonderful. That don't mean Satan ain't gonna try you. Don't mean people who's supposed to love you and be your brother gonna turn their back on you. Don't mean that, you minding your business, somebody not gonna try and prey upon you. So in the midst of all of this prospering and thriving that Joseph is doing, Pharaoh's nasty bitch, his nasty whore, nasty slut. Bitch, you married to the nigga with all the money. Yet you checking for the nigga under him. What kind of nasty slut is you? You was old filthy, funky African hoe. Nasty, dirty, scandalous, evil, gorilla neck, monkey mouth bitch. Excuse my language. That's what we talking about here. You understand? This old funky, dirty bitch, and she see all that black. See, she see that Joseph he put cocoa butter on his skin. He put oil on when he get out the bath. He don't smell like them funky ass Africans. And she probably be watching him out there walking around. He wearing them goddamn silk robes. She see that he got the gray sweatpant version of the silk robes on. She seeing that thing flapping around in there. She like, ooh wee, Potiphar ain't got that. I need to get that young Joseph. She plotting on Joseph. Genesis 39 and 8. But he refused. Joseph said, hell nah, bitch, you can't get none of this. I know you see that thing flapping in that robe. That don't mean it's for you, that dirty woman. Ain't you know you Potiphar's bitch? You can't get none of mine. You get it. That thing belong to Potiphar, bitch. You think I'm going to go behind him? Ho? What I look like? You know I'm Joseph, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Bitch, what? Hell nah, you can't get none of this. You goofy, dirty bitch. You a funky African hoe. Hell nah, you ain't getting none. It wasn't enough to just say no. He ain't just saying no, thank you. Nah, he Israelite. Bitch, what? The fuck out of here, you dirty monkey, bitch. You can't get none of this. I wouldn't touch you with a 30-foot pole. Dirty, stanky hoe. Hey, anyway, the bitch got mad. Whatever he said, whatever he did, infuriated this hoe. And if you a man out there that's ever turned down some vagina, you can't be nice about it. I know y'all hear me talk sometimes. Y'all be like, why you gotta talk like that? Why you gotta talk to the women like that? You don't talk to women. I do. And you're turning a woman down. You can't be nice about it. You can't. It's like trying to holler at a woman in the streets. And you like, hey, what's up, baby? Holler at you, girl. Let me talk to you for a second. And she like, nah, I'm good. Fuck you then, bitch. Like, it's natural and it come out of you. You hey, baby, what's up? Let me holler at you. No, thank you. I'm good. Fuck you then, hoe. And I know some of y'all men be like, why you gotta be so mean? Why you gotta do that? Well, okay. That's why women are no longer nice about saying no. That's why when you holler at a woman, they don't say, no, thank you. They say, nigga, hell nah, I wouldn't get with you. They have to do that because you can't nicely reject somebody because most people, when you reject them, they pretend like they rejected you. So all the niggas that try to, hey, baby, I'll let you, girl, you looking good. No, thank you, I'm good. Fuck you then, bitch. You ain't shit anyway. I wasn't even trying to holler at your stinking ass, bitch. I just going something. You know, women hear that enough that they get aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, can I talk to you? Nigga, hell nah, you can't talk to me. You ugly ass, you stink boy. Oh, bitch, I know you ain't talking. Now we arguing. I might end up getting a number anyway. But I'm just saying, though, they be aggressive. You got to, when you rejecting somebody, you got to be aggressive. Well, when the shoe's on the other foot, when you a man and a woman trying to get with you, you can't nicely reject a woman. You can't nicely, be like, nah, no, thank you. You got to be like, hell nah, shorty, you got me, but nah, I'm sorry, baby girl, nah, I'm good, man. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? What you like? Some of y'all don't know because women ain't hollered at you. I know. They come holler at you, hey, Big Daddy, I see you over here doing your thing. Yeah, what's up, baby? No, I'm good, but I appreciate it, though. You know what I'm saying? Good look. But no, I'm straight. You straight? What you mean? You straight? I know you ain't gonna do me like that, Big Daddy. I came over. Bitch, I said I'm good. Nah, you ain't on my level. Hold back above me, man. Move around. God damn, you see his motherfuckers in here. Find one of these other niggas that's gonna fuck with you. I said no. You old stank ass nigga. You old stuck. Oh, bitch, get out my face. You can't nicely turn a woman down. You can't nicely be like, oh no, thank you, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Not no woman that's aggressive enough to come holler at you. You can't just, oh no, thank you. Thank you for the compliment, but I'm good, love. Bitch, you good. I know you good, nigga. You wasn't gonna get nothing in pussy anyway. You can't be nice to no woman when you reject her. A woman bold enough to come up, hey, Big Daddy, what you doing? You got to be like, nah, I'm good, baby. I appreciate you. Have you been to the club? They try to come dance on you. Oh, nah, I'm straight, little mom. I'm good. You got to move out the way. Oh, you old. What you mean? I know you ain't going to try to play me in front of all these people. I said, nah, baby, I'm straight. Fuck that nigga. All right, fat bitch. Get the fuck up out my face. How I said no. What you want me to do? You chose wrong, bitch. Move around. You know what I'm saying? I ain't for you. Find one of these. Look, get that nigga right there. He for you, bitch. Go holler at him. Get out my face. I tried to be nice about it. I tried to, you know what I'm saying? But you can't. So when I'm reading this in Genesis 39 and Potiphar's woman come on to Joseph, I imagine he was like, "Nah, I'm good, little mama. You know, you part of a woman. I don't get down like that. I don't be going behind no other man. Oh, what you think you better than me or something? You too good to give me some of that. You don't want none of this. Look at me. You funky bitch. You ain't shit, hoe. I wouldn't never touch you with a 20-foot pole, bitch. If you don't get the fuck up out of here, I'm about to go tell that nigga. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but bitch, you got me all fucked up. You better get the fuck up out of here. That's how I imagine the conversation went down because well, how else could it have gone down? But let me go back to the scriptures, Genesis 39 and verse 8. Genesis 39 and 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. Verse 8, but he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he has committed all that he has to my hand. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? Now, y'all might read that and y'all think, oh, that's such a classy rejection. Oh, he's so honorable in how he let her down. But reality was, bitch, don't you know I'm Joseph who got everything? Bitch, the master then gave me everything. The man let me have free reign. I got all the money. I drive all the chariots, all the cars, all of the women I want. The only thing he held back from me is you, bitch. Cause you supposed to be his wife, ho. I would never do something evil like that. I wouldn't, bitch, you think I would fuck you behind his back? No, ho. Move around. Get out my face, you dirty, nasty hoe. Flee from me, you vagabond. That's the conversation. You know, the Bible has a very, you know, poetic way of putting it. But I'm sure in the Hebrew it came out like, ugh, bitch, hell nah. Don't you know who I am, bitch? I'm Joseph. I got everything. The Lord gave everything into my hands. I don't want for nothing. He made sure that I would never want for nothing. You think I want you? Bitch, you're his woman. I would never do no wickedness against and sin against God. Huh? You think I would sin against God for you? Bitch, no. And she was greatly offended at that. Verse 10, and it came to pass as she spake to Joseph day by day that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. Every day she's trying to get some, and every day he's, oh, you not on my level, bitch. Move around. How many times I gotta say no? It's damn near sexual harassment at this point. He walking down the hallways of the castle. She walked by and wink at him. You know what I'm saying? She walked by. He walking down the hallway. She walking with her husband. She behind. You know, she know he behind. She dropped down and bend something. Bend dropped down and dropped something and bend over, showing them nasty Egyptian cheeks. She doing everything she can to keep trying to entice him. Every day he's just, this bitch nasty, man. I don't know, man. Something got to shake. This is out of pocket. Verse 11. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got out. How did that look, y'all? Joseph in the office working. This nasty hoe come in the office. Oh yeah, I got you now. You gonna give me some of that, big daddy. You gonna try to get, and he like, nah, baby, come on, man. I told you, bitch. How many times I tell you no? Come on, you got to give me some of that. She on her knees. She trying to pull at his clothes. He like, bitch, I said no. Get the fuck off me, ho. One time I gotta tell you, bitch. You got me fucked up. I'm Joseph, ho. You ain't get none of this. She trying to pull his clothes off, and finally he just say, you know what? I gotta get the fuck up out of here. You got me messed up, ho. I told you, no, I ain't fucking with you. He push her off. She grab his goddamn coat, grab his clothes he trying to leave. She take the goddamn, rip the damn shirt off of him. He leave out without the shirt. Fuck this hoe, man. This hoe got me so messed up. He leave out. Verse 13, and it came to pass when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, see, he hath brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice, this nasty hoe. After trying to rape this brother, he fled. The bitch cried rape on him. Then she used the phrase, he brought this Hebrew in to mock us, which goes to show you what? She wanted him because he was a Hebrew. She wanted to be mocked. She wanted to give that nasty Egyptian tale to that Hebrew. And when he refused, she was insulted because he was too good for her. Joseph was too good for this nasty bitch. And she hated the idea that a nigga thought that he was better than her when she's the king's bitch. She's Potiphar's hoe. And she think because Potiphar have sex with her, that means she's somebody. But it took a Hebrew man to let her know, you just that nigga's bitch. You ain't nobody special hoe. I get it. I got everything. And I don't want you because you belong to him. Man, Joseph was so honorable. And Joseph was such a beautiful brother. Joseph was such a One West man. Bitch, you his wife. Ho, I wouldn't touch you with a 30-foot pole. Matter of fact, bitch, I don't even see you. Here's how honorable Joseph was. Potiphar's bitch could have been bad. She could have been fine as all outdoors. Joseph still would have never even known the bitch existed because she's Potiphar's woman. You think I'm a righteous man. I do everything God says to do. You think I'm a disobey God for you, bitch? On top of that, you think I want to go behind Potiphar hoe? No. Once I know you're someone else's woman, you don't even exist to me. I don't even see you. You're just, hey, how you doing? You're just, another person in the world. Real men don't see other men's women. Period. I don't. All my brothers in the school, I don't know what any of y'all wives look like. They look like my sisters. I don't know. Are they pretty? Yeah. Do they wear nice dresses? Yeah, they're beautiful. But they're my brother's wives. They're sisters. There's no attraction there's not attractive bone in my body towards any of them. Cause you know what I'm saying? Unrighteous people don't understand that. Unrighteous men don't even get it. They don't even they don't understand the blinders that the truth puts on you when you rocking in the spirit. Man, Joseph was in the spirit with this hoe. Bitch, never. And she could not accept that. She could not accept that there was something more important to this man than her funky, nasty Egyptian ass. But there was. And it was Joseph's honor and his integrity and his dignity and his love of God. Let's keep reading. Verse 39 and verse 18. And it came to pass as I lifted up my voice and cried that he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him in the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. Joseph went to jail over a rape beef that he didn't even do. Joseph went to jail over a rape beef for a bitch who he had turned down daily because she was beneath him. I'm sure Joseph played his case. I'm sure Joseph defended himself in court. He still went to jail. Joseph was dealt another rough deal. But all things work together for good for them that love God and are called according to his purpose. Even though Joseph went to jail, didn't mean that the Most High wasn't with him. Verse 21. But the Most High was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison. And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. Joseph was in prison, but he ran the prison. This make me think of brothers. Make me think of brothers who are in prison today. Many brothers are in prison wrongfully. Some brothers are in prison because they need to be there. But being in prison does not mean that the Most High is not with you. Any man who is an officer in the ISUPK cannot be scared of going to jail. You will never see one of us getting shot by the police on the side of the road because we tried to run from a traffic stop. You'll never see any of us, getting into a high-speed chase on the highway because we was doing something we wasn't supposed to do, like driving without a license. Nah, we get pulled over. We did something wrong. Give me the handcuffs. I'm going to jail. Because I'll go to jail and run the fucking prison because the Lord is with me. Everybody understands? And that is the mentality and the mindset of the men that are in the ISUPK and the Commanding General Yohana, because we understand that the Lord is with you no matter what. I'll give a big ups to Officer Mashamar, brother down here behind the bars down here in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is with that brother. That brother run that goddamn prison. I don't care what you say. That brother Mashamar be on the phone, in the classes, every cookout. Mashamar been to every cookout since he been in the truth. Every cookout I've been to since Mashamar been in the truth, somebody walking around with a phone and Mashamar is there. Mashamar is in the prison, but he at the cookout at the same time. He's saluting all the brothers. He's looking at he's seeing the food and the grill down there. He got a burger in his hand. He in jail with a burger in his hand. Telling, hey, we eating good today. He down there, with the headpiece on. One West till they bury me. Mashamar be rocking out in the goddamn jail because the Lord is with him with his cell phone. You understand? Listen, when the Lord is with you, who can be against you? You understand? Joseph, after being in slavery, rising out of that hell, went to jail on a rape beef and went and still was rocking strong with the Lord. Because that's what you do when you love the Most High. No matter what happens in your life, it's all good, man. You'll be all right. And people who know you, who see what you're going through, be like, man, that nigga, he crazy, man. He act like ain't nothing wrong, but I know he really going through it. Shit, nigga, no, I ain't. No, I ain't. I'm straight. Yeah, money might be tight. I got a wife. I got food I got sisters bring me food. We got a school. Like, nigga, who complaining? Who whining? Why? For what? You know what I'm saying? The Lord with me, man. I'm gonna be all right no matter what. I'll be okay. Like, that's the Lord. That's the beauty of the truth. Everybody understands. This is Joseph's story, though. Back to Genesis 39. Genesis 39 and 23. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Most High was with him, and that which he did, the Most High made it to prosper. Regardless of whatever situations and circumstances he faced, the Most High was with Joseph. And Genesis 40:1. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. You know, these some niggas in the world. They Africans, but these are some niggas in the world. How is the chief of the bakers beefing with the chief of the butlers? One nigga's over the cooks, another nigga's over the niggas serving the plates and the food. They in the back arguing and beefing over the food and the plates. The damn chief of the butlers is saying, this goddamn food ain't getting cooked fast enough, man. They waiting to eat out there. And the chief of the cooks is saying, nigga, your niggas is coming late with these plates. They taking the orders out wrong. We ringing the bell, the nigga ain't coming pick the food up. They get to arguing and embarrass the hell out of Pharaoh. He throw both of their ass in jail. Excuse my language, Salaki. You understand? Genesis 40:3. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them. And they continued a season inward. They was in prison for a while. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night. Each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and they looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And when he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And this is how much Joseph cares. He's in prison with these niggas. He's a prisoner too. But he oversees all the prisoners. He see these two cats one morning looking just sad and worn down and broken. And he asked somebody else, hey, what's wrong with them cats, man? Why would you even care? Why would you even give a damn if these niggas in jail are sad? Ain't they in jail? Joseph is a righteous man who loves the Lord. He wants to know, man, why these cats, what's wrong with them, man? They all right? Wouldn't nobody else ask about them? Wouldn't nobody else care? Joseph is a righteous man that serves the Lord. He cares. The Lord made him to care. Because if he didn't care, he wouldn't have asked. And if he didn't ask, we wouldn't read what we're about to read now. How many people out there are caring and don't know that that's God with them? How many people love and are givers and don't know the Lord made you a lover? The Lord made you a giver. You think you just naturally inclined to be nice and sweet. No, the Lord made you to be nice and sweet. All your life, you've been nice and sweet, and people have taken advantage of it and used it and missed and abused it and made you feel bitter and evil until one day you meet somebody that makes it worth your while. You come into the truth and you realize God made me a giver because I'm supposed to belong to a place where givers are appreciated and not taken advantage of. How beautiful is that? How wonderful is it that your whole life you thought that being a giver made you weak and soft and people took advantage of you until you find out that I had to go through all those times of being misused so that I could appreciate now the time where the Lord allows for my givingness to be appreciated. How glorious is that? Joseph cared enough to ask about these cats. Genesis 40 and 10. Genesis 40 and 9. Genesis 40 and 8. Salakia. And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to the Most High? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me. And in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head and restore thee unto thy place. And thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former manner when thou was a butler. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets in my head. And in the uttermost basket there was all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head off of thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. Goddamn. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants, and restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. God damn. The Lord was with Joseph. Once again, help this funky ass African out. Funky ass African get out of jail and forget the man that prophesied his dream. Genesis 40. Now, again, if Joseph wasn't such a caring cat, he would have never asked them why they look so sad. They would have never told him what they told him. The 3 days still would have went by. The butler still would have been restored. The baker still would have been killed. But Joseph would have reaped no benefit from it because he didn't care enough to ask, what's the matter? All things work together for good for them that love God and are called according to his purpose. Genesis 41. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years, 2 more years, Joseph sat in that dungeon because the goddamn butler didn't care enough to remember the nigger that gave him the good news. Verse 41 and 1. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. Now I'm going to drop down past the dream to get to the point. Genesis 41 and 8. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Verse 10. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants. Genesis 41 and 9. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me inward, and the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was with us a young man, a Hebrew servant to the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream did he interpret. And it came to pass as he interpreted it to us. So it was, me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. Why did he shave himself and come in and change his clothes? This is very important too, in terms of culturally speaking. Joseph was in that dungeon. Joseph grew that beard out. Joseph grew that hair out, because that was the Hebrew custom. But before Joseph could come before Pharaoh, he had to shave that face. Why? Because that was the culture of the Egyptians, to shave that face. And he had to put on a suit. Not literally, but it's a parallel to America today. They brought Joseph out of the jail into court, literally, before the king. Before they could bring him, they had to clean this nigga up. Clean that nigga up. Shave that beard. Do something with that hair. Put him on some decent clothes. He had to put on a suit and tie, shave his face down a little bit to look presentable. Everybody understands. Genesis 41. And 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee, thou can understand the dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. This is such a humble brother. Listen, man, I ain't special, but the Lord can give you the answer. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river. And he goes and he tells Joseph his dream, right? And I'm going to read on down to Genesis 41 and 25. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. The Most High has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears blasted with east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, what God is about to do, he shows unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by the Most High, and the Most High will shortly bring it to pass. Now, therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the fifth part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of all those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as the Most High has showed you all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. How amazing must that have been for Joseph in that moment? To see and to acknowledge and to recognize that all these things that happened to me in my life, the Lord still brought me here to be the second over all of Egypt. Even though my brothers hated me, even though they sold me into slavery, because I never turned my back on the Lord, all things work together for good for them who love God and are called according to his purpose. Many of us have a story in our lives that parallels Joseph's. Many of us have been through amazingly traumatic, challenging times in our lives. And oftentimes we wonder to ourselves, why me? Well, maybe the Lord has chosen you the way that he chose Joseph. Maybe the Most High is with you the same way that he was with Joseph. Maybe you just need to trust in the Most High, have some strength, have some discipline, and be patient, because your blessing is around the corner. With that, with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, since 1969, we've been teaching so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? The truth is that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In the year 2023, there's nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is. We teach these classes 3 nights out of the week, Tuesday through Thursday from 6 to 8 here in Memphis, Tennessee. You brothers and sisters tuning in, you got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with us here in the ISUPK. We have the call-in number to the school is 901-249-0085. Again, 901-249-0085. Appreciate y'all for rocking it out. We're going to go live tomorrow for scripture breakdown. I think I'll continue the story of Joseph, going into him dealing with his brothers. And it'll be, I don't know about the topic yet and the title yet, but we'll continue the story with Joseph, because I think it's an important one tomorrow for scripture breakdown class. And with that, Shalom Israel. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Barak Atham to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Athan Ba Shem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Shalom.